Welcome, guys. We have Jesse here. Say hello, Jess.
What up?
And I am his co-host, Cam. This week, we're going to be talking about summer vacations. But before we do, I'd like to say, please hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. You have no idea how much that like and subscribe actually helps us get out into the algorithms, and just, it really helps the channel. So the more we grow, we really want to do this. This is our passion. This is our big passion project. So yeah, just make sure you hit like and subscribe, and that's that. But
And we've got we were dipping our toe into shorthand content now. It's like so it's you'll want to get more updates from that by hitting that YouTube. It's more than just every other Tuesday now. We got things on Wednesdays, Fridays, and who knows what's next.
I was in Tokyo and I had a bit of a cumbersome travels channel going on, which I still have a lot of footage to add to. But with that being said, let's get into the meat of things and go, Jesse. Talk about your current summer vacation right now. How's it going? Where's it been? What's up?
Well, I'm officially retired from 2026 summer vacations, which thank God. I was going on quite a bit of them. My girlfriend's family they're just going fucking hard this summer. Literally today, she is at another summer vacation event with them. So we basically did like almost 2 weekends in a row. I think there was one in a break. Like there's a little break in the middle there. But her parents are retired, so they're just doing that. Like they haven't quite filled up their time with hobbies yet, so it's just kind of like, well, how much can we like torment the family?
You told me that you visited. They live in Delaware, right?
Yes,
Around
yes,
Bethany Beach, around Bethany Beach area.
Yeah, so we went there first, and that was the more chill trip. Just kind of living the retired life with their parents for a weekend. We went to Assateague Island. Have you ever been to Assateague Island?
No, I've never heard of Assateague Island. What's it about?
It's a Ocean City. It's like an island in Ocean City. It's got a bunch of like wild ponies that live on the island.
Kind of like Gibson Island. Is it its own little locked in community?
No, there's no one lives there. It's just kind of like a natural park or something. It's got beaches you can go to. You can camp there. I wouldn't recommend it. The horses are kind of mean. The ponies, they're kind of mean.
Oh wow, mean
they've
ponies.
They've straight up robbed friends of mine before. Just like run up on your camp and just like take all your food and shit.
That's where we are now, people. Mean ponies on an island. That's that.
Yeah.
Now, are these like naturally like are they what's the word I'm looking to? Are these ponies native to the island?
They are, and they're very, very protected.
Wow, really? So they're like it's almost like a bit of an endangered species for that subset of like pony. Like
yeah, you can't really fuck around with them. That's why they can just rob you. You're you're at the mercy of how protected by the government and the park services they are.
Also,
even like when we were getting in, it took us like 15 minutes because the ponies just decided that in the middle of the fucking road was where they wanted to hang out, and you can't bother them. So we're all just sitting there waiting for them to like get the fuck out of the way.
It's kind of like waiting for a family of ducks to roll by. You just kind of have to take it.
Yeah, except ducks are like way more, they're on a mission. These ponies they just did not give a fuck.
Jesus. Wow, I never thought we'd get to an island of ponies. Are these like Parks and Recreation, Little Sebastian style ponies?
No, that's like a mini horse. The difference between like a pony and a mini horse is like you've done a lot of like video and photo editing now, so it's kind of like when you have like an image or something overlaid, and you can like change its size instead of grabbing it from the corner. If you just grabbed it from the center and then pushed it down, and it just makes it like a weird fat like long image. That's like what a mini horse is. A pony is smaller, but it's scaled down.
Gotcha. Why don't you tell our fans about that funny little story you had with you were claiming that you were into jam bands or something like that, and I got a real kick out of that story.
Oh, that was in Poconos, actually. That was
shit.
the weekend after.
Good Lord.
So we went to this beach, and then I think the only other notable thing in Delaware that happened was we did go to a pretty nice brewery. So it's called First State, which is because Delaware was the first state. Really nice brewery. I like the beers. I like the food. Unfortunately, there was a classic rock cover band.
Go ahead.
Playing the whole time, and they were just horrible. It's kind of like when we would go to Point and Still, with Evan, and there'd just be some shitty Grateful Dead cover band. It's just like a bunch of old people butchering songs.
Yeah, to
Uh,
our listeners, Point and Still is a really strange bar in between Cockeysville and Timonium, Maryland, and yeah, it's where the real weird people go at 12 o'clock.
it is. It's an odd one. And on our way out, the manager of the band cornered me while I was smoking a cigarette, just piss
Just
fucking
corners
drunk.
you.
Uh, yeah, he was just drunk as shit with his little vape, and he was just like, "Yeah, this is like music and stuff." And we were having an okay conversation. He was a little fucking like shitty, just like a kind of a shitty fat drunk Delaware dude. And then at the end of it, he totally lost me, where he was just like, we can't get anybody out to our shows because you fucking kids are all on. You're like,
Oh
literally,
wow,
you kids are all on your
that's
phones.
gonna get us out. Okay.
I know, and I at that point I just saw myself out of the
Yeah,
conversation
I
because
would have to
the only other option was to be like,
humor him.
well, well, to be like, kids do go out to shows, they just don't go out to your shitty fucking cover
Oh,
band.
that would have been a dagger right there. Nice. Well, I mean, you should have said it, but you did the right thing by not escalating the situation
Yeah, I mean, I'm
anymore.
there with the parents.
Ah, yes.
Then we went to the
Go ahead.
And then we went to the Poconos the weekend after the next weekend. Poconos is this just giant mountain in Pennsylvania. Got lots of lakes and little vacation spots on it. And that was very nice. I got to meet the sister and the brother-in-law and their two kids. The parents were also there. That was a good time. And yeah, as you were saying, I was getting fucking
Oh,
wasted
this is a
with the
good
sister and
story.
the brother-in-law
Love it.
because they're alcoholics, and we're all shooting the shit. They're really into jam bands. That's not my thing, but I
Fish,
I have like a
Grateful Dead.
base. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have a base knowledge. I like the Grateful Dead, but that's about as far as it goes.
that's me
And
too.
they're talking about this Philly jam band called Disco Biscuits.
I know them. I know who
I
they
had
are.
a
I know who they are. Yep.
I had a I had a full moron moment here. I got them mixed up with another band, so that I thought was from Maryland. So I was like, Disco Biscuits, they're from Maryland, and that was like
Yeah.
immediate like strong reaction of just like, no, they're Philadelphia. And I was like, what the fuck am I thinking of? I looked it up. It's a band called Gorilla Biscuits. That's a hardcore punk
Oh
band
shit.
that isn't even from. They aren't even fucking from Maryland.
Yeah, you buffaloed that one real bad.
And then my kind of like saving face was just being like, I don't even know that much about jam bands.
Oh,
It's just went into real dismissive
now I
mode.
thought Jesse
Luckily, it's
should
a
have like
cool.
been a little bit more. I thought Jesse should have humbled himself in front of the parents and said, "Yeah, sorry about that."
The parents weren't
Oh
there.
no, no, not the parents. Who was it exactly?
A sister and
Okay,
brother-in-law.
yeah, I would have gone up to the sister and brother-in-law the next morning and been like, guys, I was really vibing with y'all, and I was in that like want to kind of fit in mode, and I kind of just got a little fake there, and my bad, like
The night continued. Brienne legitimately said if I had done that the next morning, I would have looked fucking stupid.
wow,
Like
you would
that.
have lost
Like,
face with that.
yeah, so I was like, it was just moving past it was I went the right route, and so that was my summer. Besides that, things that happened to me this summer, just two other little things, and then we'll get to the Cam Adventures of
Oh
Tokyo.
yes,
Uh, we started this podcast. I thought we would give us a little seasonal pat on the back.
yeah, man, fuck yeah, hell yeah, thank you for that.
It's been the cumbersome summer, the sumbersome
Yeah,
guys.
man. I thought it was a
And then
really nice little, a different little topic to go into because I've never really ever discussed summer vacations with anyone ever. So, continue on with your two extra stories.
And the second one was I got really into mafia documentaries for pretty much most of the summer.
Motherfucker,
It
you're
finally
always into mafia documentaries. This guy Jesse,
mafia films.
he's always into old school like 1930s, 1920s American mafia gang culture. He loves
Oh,
that
I
shit.
was going this time. We were deep diving. I was well into the fucking 80s. Like I was going all into it. It kind of stopped. I found this ex mafia guy who has a YouTube channel, which is really just almost like satire. Just the concept of that. It's like the ex mafia boss is now on YouTube doing his vlogs. I was watching him, and then he took a left field turn out of nowhere and just went super conservative. And he started dropping these videos where it was like how the mafia would deal with Dr. Fauci. Are you?
Oh God,
I was just kind of like,
Jesus, man.
oh no. And then today it peaked. I unsubscribed a while ago, but I still got him in my algorithms. And his new one now, which I think is incriminating as just a video itself, is if I started up a new mafia family, here's how I'd run it.
If I were to what, like, I don't even understand why you would admit to that or even go into something like that. If,
That's what I was saying. I was like, I'm sure because he was someone who like ratted and went into witness protection. So it's just kind of like, oh, so yeah, I feel like that's like against the law.
Now I know a dude here in Harbin who's really into like The Sopranos. I don't think he has any sort of in depth knowledge of American gang culture in the same way that you do when it comes to the mafia and like just like old school stuff like that. But he really insists on being a Godfather type, and he's really young too. I'm not going to say his name, but he really he swaps between his hometown and Harbin, and he really just like he has a whole young crew of early 20 somethings that are completely into this idea of once he gets into his profession, they're going to be running shit in Harbin in terms of like money flow and all that kind of stuff. And like every time I say, dude, I love you, man, just leave me out of that because him and I get on really well. I met him about like 4 or 5 years ago, but yeah, like every time I talk to him, he's always bringing that shit up to me, and I'm just like, like the other day he was telling me how some dude that he hasn't seen since middle school came back and was like, "Ha ha ha, I'm the Lalo now," and
Oh
yeah,
God.
I'm like, this is like some real disrespect he was feeling. He literally called me while I was in Tokyo, and he had to sit there and talk with me for about 15 or 20 minutes and have me give him some advice, just social advice about how to deal with this. And I believe it. He said it was his cousin, and I said, dude, like as a general social thing, saying something like that with, you know, how, that's some unearned shit to say. And he was telling me about his past and how, you know, in essence, it all kind of boiled down to he was kind of a little bitch or a punk back when they were younger. So for him to come back and
Yeah.
say something like that, it was like he felt really disrespected by that. And I know for a fact that these like he is involved in like this, this sort of illegal activity and whatnot. But I keep I keep it down to myself, and
Well,
I won't ever say his
here's
name.
what he does.
Yeah,
Here's what he should do. He should go down to Assateague Island, get himself a pony, cut its head off, and then put it in this guy's bed while he's
fuck
sleeping.
yeah, dude.
That's the mafia
Yes,
shit right
yes. I
there.
want you to send me that sound clip later so that I can send it to him. But yeah, I think he'd get a kick out of that. Uh,
But anyway, Cameron, tell us about Tokyo.
mm, okay, so Tokyo. I have been to Tokyo about 6 times in my life, and I've been there in the summer one time. That was 7 years ago. This time it was hot as balls. I felt like I was melting every day. I was getting in my
Yeah, you're really fighting it.
Oh my god, man, my hands were sweating. Not my palms, but the top of my hands, my knuckles were sweating, dude. It was so hot.
You told me that, and I was like, that's actually like I've never thought about that as a gauge of just how fucking ridiculous it is when the tops of your hands
Bro,
are
on
sweating.
top of this, I'm drinking heavily every evening. I'm taking a flask of whiskey around with me as I walk and get my 15,000 steps in. And this day in particular was August 1st. I wanted to go get this really awesome white curry. And as an aside, every day in Tokyo felt like I was having the latest, greatest meal of my life. And I'm going to get this really awesome white katsu curry with cheese. And I was messaging Jesse just saying, "Oh my god, dude! Like I'm melting right now. This is horrific. I've never felt heat like this before. Just the humidity. I'm in an
Yeah,
oven.
and your
Go ahead.
your backpack basically turned into like an easy
Oh
pig.
yeah, I would be
It's just
buying this.
like-
I'd have this flask of whiskey, and I would buy like a nice little liter of Coke Zero, and 7-Eleven, everywhere in Japan sells cola and cokes and sodas and shit like ice cold, and within about 5 or 10 minutes that shit's getting down to like lukewarm temperatures. Because every time I would like pull around my backpack to my front, I would feel the heat emanating from it, and it was just like unbearable. I was like, whoa, like I can feel the heat coming from my backpack. This is how hot it is outside. And I open it up and I'm just like, Jesus, every time I get into this Coke so I can do a little chase with the whiskey, it was just, oh. But
Oh, that sounds
yeah, it
disgusting.
was, man. It was nasty business. That's why I preferred to go out at nighttime, but daytime also has its perks as well.
That that Coke was probably flat after like 15 minutes in that
No,
backpack too.
no,
That
surprisingly not. But like
it really held on.
it
Hey,
held on, man. It held its own. Stories in Japan that I just want to go through. All right, so my first night there, I was in. First off, I'm in a hotel in Kabukicho, which is called the Shinjuku Grand Bell. I'm in the heart of Kabukicho, which is like a famous red light district. A lot of like yakuza owned brothels and stuff like that all over the place. But a big tourist spot to go to is the Golden Guy, which is this like this one block of 250 dive bars that are just really fun to bounce around to. And you go and you bounce around to like three or four of them. And then, you end your night, you go to 7-Eleven, you get some macaroni salad, you go home and you feel shitty about yourself. And
it's like sounds like Japanese Fells Point.
oh man, it is no joke, man. It's where you go. It's what you do when you're in Kabukicho. And
Yeah,
I go to this awesome fucking death metal bar called Death Match in Hell. I've shown you this bar, man. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the owner, he's always dressed up as like a Japanese Wayne from Wayne's World. They got B horror movies playing at all times. There's DVDs like of all sorts of horror and thriller films in front of the bar. The walls are plastered with old references of Kubrick films and Chucky dolls and all that kind of crap. So I'm there and I'm having a beer, and it's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. It's kind of starting to like clear out. It's not so much a sardine filled bar anymore. And this old crusty mid 40s, like, I don't know, he was kind of like a loser hipster. That's his whole vibe. And I believe he might have been like Australian or even English. I couldn't really pick up on his accent. But he's with his girl, and she seems completely in disapproval of him and his steez at this point. And he sits down at the bar and he starts complaining about the fact that they're showing horror movies on the TV, and he's like, "This is no better than showing like porn." And I was like, "Excuse me?" Because like at first I ignored him, and then when he said that, I said, "Excuse me? Like, what do you even mean by that? How are those two even the same?" And like, what
Why are you in the death metal
yeah,
bar?
why'd you come here, man? And then the great thing about this bar is that everything is $4. Like every single drink, cocktail, or beer that you get, it's all $4. It's 666 yen. It's really cool, and the guy's never changed his business model, and they're always packed. So
That's like happy hour pricing at
oh,
all
all at
times.
all times, man, all times, 666. And I love the theme, and it's a good vibe. But this guy was bringing this negative energy and comparing, like just saying, well, why not just show porn on the screen? And I couldn't even believe that he would compare the two. Okay, what do you think about that?
I think that's a very like 80s Christian parent stance to take on horror movies being played. Like what you're getting outraged by stuff that like evangelicals got offended by in like 1988.
Man,
So it's like what the fuck are you doing in a death metal bar in 2026 acting like
yeah,
that?
man, I just didn't get this guy's vibe. It was totally killing the vibe of everyone around us. And I said, the two aren't even comparable. Porn is an actual thing that people do. It's almost like stunt. It's almost like stunt work. Whereas like a horror movie is just like gross out fun. Depending on what horror movie you're watching, it could be a slasher. It could be more of a mystery thriller. But dude was just hating on it. So I went outside and I had a cigarette, and all of the people outside are talking about this dude like, what a fucking idiot, like we're all laughing about it, and he's in there
Ugh.
with his girl, and she's his.
I wonder if
Go ahead.
you ever wonder if you've been that guy before? It's like once you leave the room, everyone's like, "What in the fuck is that dude up
Right.
to?"
I don't know if I ever have felt that I've been that guy, but man, if I ever have, I'm gonna wake up the next day and I'm gonna rethink things, because I go back in to get one more beer to finish up. And I'm like trying to sit there and like reason with the dude, and he's not having it. He's like, you know what, man, I don't even want to fucking talk to you anymore. And he just turned his shoulder to me, and his girl turns around and looks over to me, and I give her the universal symbol for girl, get the fuck out of this relationship.
Yeah, fucking
Yeah,
run.
dude, I said, like, I mouthed to her, I was like, run, get the fuck out, like, then I bounced. And at this point, the bartender, he was looking at me and looking at others because the vibe was so awkward at this point. And I looked at the bartender, I said, all right, here's my money. I'm out, man. And then I went back a few days later and had a much better time. But that
Yeah.
was story number one. And then it's about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I'm just chilling in my hotel bed. I'm not looking forward to going out, but I have to because I want to go get some things for, Michelle, my friends, yada yada yada. And I'm in the Shinjuku Grand Bell Hotel, which is a very popular place, and it's generally quiet because when you go to Japan, you kind of pick up on the fact that everything is pretty quiet there. Like everything is very subdued in terms of atmosphere. You don't hear people yelling through the walls or anything like that. But
Yeah.
I heard
It's not like if you're my neighbor.
right. Like
You're not my neighbor while I'm editing one of these podcast episodes and I'm just screaming at Audacity.
exactly, man. There's no like chaotic dysfunctional yelling or any sort of like door slamming, but I heard a door slam very very hard. And this, I got like six different hotel rooms across the hallway from me, and I hear it slam so hard that I get up and I crack the door, and I hear, this
You
one.
cracked the
Yeah, I cracked the
cardboard.
cardboard there, my friend.
Yeah, I want to crack the cardboard.
And I'm listening, and I hear this girl say, like, she's looking at this man, and she says, Darren, I just saw a video of you blowing a huge load over some woman's face. And then she said, and there's even more of them. And the implication there, I thought, was, oh wow, he's been doing this with multiple prostitutes or something like that.
He's a real life nasty nut
Oh my
buster.
god, man. I was like, and then she walked away, and I wanted to go grab my phone so I could record. But like, like after she said that, she like walked away and he followed her, and I was like, wow. Like that was something I've never heard before, and I don't believe I'll ever hear again. But like the way she described her emphasis on the size of this load, like I was like, wow, like I kind of want to. I want to see that. It's like that Mac Always Sunny moment where he's like, "Oh, that's terrible. Where can I see that?
Oh my God. That's disgusting.
I know.
Naked pics online? Where? Where did he post those?
I know.
Where can I see that?" And I'm just thinking, like, damn, dude, like, homeboy. And trust me, if you're in Tokyo on vacation, you have money. You've saved up.
Should have interjected, been like, "Excuse me,
That's terrible.
I'm a bit of a load. I'm a bit of a load expert myself. Why don't you give me that phone and I'll be the judge of how big these loads are."
Yeah. Are these some Peter Northy loads or more of a dribbly but long shooting Danny D load? And I just thought to myself, damn, dude, like to have that much money and just go around and like these prostitutes in the Kabukicho area, they ain't cheap, man. Like if you go to Japan for like the prices on these prostitutes, man, they're up there. Like you're getting like the elite level pricing for some elite level action, and to do that,
Elite level
yeah,
loads.
bro, oof. To actually have that sort of ability, that's going to increase your price even more. So we're going from like 30,000, 40,000 yen. And not on top of that, these girls are letting him record him do that to them. Dude, he's paying at least like 50 or 60,000 yen per night to go ahead and do that to some women, man. Like I thought that was
How much is that in US
oh,
dollars?
30,000 yen. I'm gonna guess that's upwards of about like 300, 400 for the minimal price, and then we're talking like
Oh, Jesus.
700, 800 for a video recording busty nut load. Like that had to be.
Yeah, so he was paying like a game console price for this is like the about the price of a new game
Yo,
console
and she
is how much it was to get these load
the way
vids.
she emphasized the fact that there was even more of those videos, like it didn't sound like there was two or three more. It sounded like there was like at least like 10 or 15. He had been just busting nasty nuts all over tons of prostitutes in Capiquicho, and I was like, damn, bro. And you know, the prostitute nightlife in Capiquicho while you're walking around, it's very, very intense, especially if you're single. If you're with your girl, or if you're with somebody else, they don't really mess with you. But if you're just walking around by yourself like I was, you get proposed by quite a few. Just, hey, you want to go have a coffee? It's never ever anything like, you want to come in and have a drink with us, that kind of shit. They never ever just straight up say it. But one night towards the end of my 2 week run, I'm walking in front of a family mart, and this pair comes up to me, and they start it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and this pair comes up to me and they say, "Hey, like let's get down, like like da 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 da," and they're dressed the part too. And I say, no, 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 I got a girlfriend. I always de-escalate. I'm always like, hey, ladies, look, you're lovely, but nah, I can't. I got a girl. And this one woman, she is behind me, and she says the most upfront thing I've ever heard from a woman in fucking Japan. And she says, "I can fuck you better than your girlfriend." And I was aghast. I was like, "Gee."
Yeah, that's yeah, I'm you know me, and also you are as well. We are a very very sex positive duo, but that is uncouth.
Yes, that I actually stopped midway up the steps and looked and turned around, and I said, "Jesus." Like, I looked at her, and
It brought the Puritan out of you.
yeah,
You're that's not
I
Christian.
looked her in the eyes and I said, "Jesus, like, you have a lot of confidence." And she's like, "Yeah, so." And I was just like, "Look, and I showed her pictures of me and my girl together. I said, whatever you think you can do, I'm sure she's more than capable of." And then she like stormed off, but she had an attitude about it, man. Like, she was like, I don't know if she was having a bad night or something, but she wasn't ugly or anything. She was pretty. But man, like, I had never been in Japan. I've been like I said, been to Japan 6 times. I've been through Kabukicho multiple evenings, upwards of like 50 or 60 evenings. I've never had any woman come up to me and just be so upfront and I mean, not to sound old fashioned, but uncouth, as you said. Like, because usually in Japan, it's like they don't legally let themselves say things like that directly. It's always more of a, hey, let's.
No, it's a lot more. Yeah, it's a lot more of a subtle thing. It's usually around like drinking.
Right. It's always about like, hey, come and like, let's have some tea, or let's have a beer or a drink. Never ever that to me, that was whew, she must have been having a bad night or bad business. But yeah, that was one thing that I was just like, whew. Anyways, yeah, that was some good stuff from Kabukicho. A positive story that I can talk about is the salary man that was passed out for about like 2 hours. I came home one night in Japan. A salary man is a guy who, white shirt, black slacks, goes to work every day from 7 to fucking 5. Usually goes out drinking afterwards with their boss, because in their culture it's like, to go up into the hierarchy, you need to keep like going out and continuously drinking until like 11, 12 at night, and then you go home and you do that shit all over again. And this dude was passed out on the side, and I passed by him and I thought, oh shit, I saw his phone in his hands, and I tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, yo, dude, your phone's out," and then he like, ugh, just waved me off. And I'm like, I go back inside and I'm like, damn, I'm pretty hungry and I need some water. I need like 2 big bottles of water. I go back out to 7-Eleven like an hour later, come back, and he's still there. And I'm like, Jesus, man. Now his fucking phone is in on the side, like inside of a like a garden bed. And I take his phone and I put it in the back of into his back pocket. And a taxi driver rolls up and he says, "Oh, I got to call the police." And I said, "Yeah, get the like get this guy some help, because like he's literally he's on the road, man. He's not even on the sidewalk. He's on the road, and he could get hurt, have his arm run over, and uh, I go around the corner to get something else, and I come back, and police are walking up to him. And I think I told you about this and how different the police are in other countries.
Yeah, we had a conversation. We were specifically comparing it to the wonderful police force of America,
America's
where
most
it's like
dangerous
if
gang, for real.
yeah, they would have manhandled the fuck out of that dude. Probably got him more upset, and then when he had an upset reaction, just like beat the shit out of
Oh,
him. That's kind of how that's how the American police
his
roll.
life
So
would have been
yeah, it's
ruined. But these police officers got him up, and they're like, making sure that he's okay. And they're like, from what I can guess, they're just telling him, yo, like, like you gotta get home, man. And they didn't put him in any car or anything like that. They sat there and talked with him. And I ran around the corner to a vending machine and got a bottle of water. And I walked back and I handed it to him. And I said, drink this. And the police officers gave me like an approving nod. But I walked back into my hotel and I had to go and tell you and Michelle about it because it's just so different. Like the police officers in other countries, they don't try to like humiliate you and take away your dignity. They actually like,
no.
yeah, they see that, they know what the situation is. This dude's a
What
salary man. Go ahead.
one thing I can give my dad is Mr. like American cities and America is the best, but he has a deep respect for just like the politeness and infrastructure of Tokyo. When I was telling him that you were in Tokyo, he was like, you know what, I actually like I he watches a lot of we get like the NHK
Oh,
broadcasts
nice.
occasionally on PBS here,
Yep.
so he's pretty tuned in to what's like going on in Japan, and he's grown a newfound respect for just how well Tokyo works. It's a well oiled
Yes, it is.
machine.
It's a very well-oiled machine. But yeah, that was I mean, the only other small story is I met this cool guy. We had a great night together, kind of like a Seinfeld and who's that baseball player in that one episode? It was a two-parter. Oh
Oh, I
man,
know.
what
Ugh.
phew. Forget it. It doesn't matter. But we had a really good 3 or 4 hour hang, and he taught me a really cool phrase called Ichigo Ichiye because he's like, yo, we're probably never going to see each other again. But the Japanese have a phrase where when you have a meaningful, like, few hours of somebody or even just a meaningful meeting out in the street with a cigarette or something, you say Ichigo Ichiye, which means, it's basically the I know I'm never going to see you again, but this interaction we had was very meaningful. So sayonara. And yeah, I use that a lot during my travels or during my walking around, smoking cigs with people. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool as well. But yeah,
I always so it's like I refer to it as the brief encounter, which is my little nod to a British an old black and white British movie about like a couple that meet while both vacationing and have a little tryst and then never see each other again.
yeah, man, that's kind of what it's almost like having a one night stand of a really meaningful social
It's a
interaction.
it's a it's a
Yeah.
it's it's a hetero it's like a heterosexual platonic one night
Yes,
stand.
there we go. That's a great way of categorizing it. All right, so you said you had a couple talking points you wanted to get to. So where are we at?
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit just about the the experiences, the things of summer vacation. We'll just like spew about that until the end. So I wanted to ask, did you when you were growing up, did your family ever have any like what did you guys have like big summer
Nope,
vacations, or
nope,
maybe did you have really,
no.
you guys were not a summer
Nah, the
vacation
only time
family?
my mom took us out to summer vacations was 1993. She took us to Bethany Beach in Ocean City, and I had a great time.
Yeah, I was about to say you. I was like, yeah, they've done Ocean City. How do you feel about Ocean City?
Fine. Had a good time, but my mom, she's very, very rigid in what she wants to do. And basically, it doesn't matter what you want to do. You have to do what she wants to do.
Yeah, yeah, you're on the fucking itinerary. So wow, you what would you generally do during summer? Would you just like troll the neighborhood,
Troll the
doing hood
neighborhood,
rat things with your
roll
friends?
around, ride my bikes. Neighborhood kids were generally who we hung out with. Every once in a while, you'd run into like a crew of kids that were different from other neighborhoods, but for the most part, just riding your bikes and playing basketball out front. Watched a lot of movies, watched a lot of TV shows, played a lot of video games, but summer vacation was never ever a big event. The only other meaningful like road trip was whenever my dad would have us go down to Florida. But then I'm staying with my dad, and he's kind of a hoarder, so it wasn't like we were going out to like Busch Gardens or anything. We just really just
Yeah, doing Disney
no. I've
World.
never done Disney World. Never done that. I
That's it's really funny. I've done Disney World only once in my life, and I was 18 years old, so the magic was like
yeah.
half
I don't
diminished.
think I would really get,
I was like, ah, shit.
knowing what I know about Disney adults these days. I don't think I would have a lot of fun at Disney World or any.
I will say this: when I was 18 or 19. This is pre the Disney adult like phenomenon. I mean, they existed at that point, but it was like Fast Pass hadn't quite like crippled things yet, and it wasn't quite so crazy. But I was definitely like, I am too old for this. I really felt it with the two things that made me feel it the most. The first one was the parades that just happen in the Magic Kingdom all the time, and you run into them a lot, and they stop your progress. You have to sit there for 15 minutes while the parade goes by. And if you're a kid, I imagine seeing that all the time, you're like, oh my fucking god. As an 18-year-old with a group of adults, you're all just like, can you just get the fuck out of my
Is
way?
there only one main road? Like, is there, or is there multiple roads going around the?
There's multiple roads. It's like a little, it's like a little castle village.
So you're kind of trapped
The
on that
Magic
side
Kingdom.
until that parade goes by.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like a little bit of a grid system sort of a thing with the parade. It just goes
A
down different
grid
places.
system,
It just
very
it just
organized,
continues all day.
very, very, very
uh,
cumbersome, very organized encumbrance.
yeah, and then the other one was the It's a Small World, which is like that's probably so cool when you're a kid, but I was just like, this is fucking annoying as an adult. But there's some cool things. The Haunted Mansion is cool. Unfortunately, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride had closed down at this point because of the satanic imagery at the end. Fun little fact.
Never knew that, but I don't even know what Mr. Toad. I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is.
It was a fun time. The weirdest part of Disney World before I move on to I want to move on to Ocean City and like beach towns, but the weirdest part is they might be gone now, but when I was there were smoking sections.
Wow.
Yeah, they're really kind of awful. They're just these tiny sections in the middle of like large walking areas. So you're just sitting there smoking and like blowing your smoke at like little fucking
Oh, it's
kids
like
and
Tokyo
their
and it's like
parents.
Tokyo and the smoking parks, man. Like you're just like huddled together like sardines, smoking and puffing up, and it's like everyone smells like an ashtray.
Yeah, and like all the parents are looking at you like you're a bunch of fucking assholes. It's almost like a humiliation ritual, which might be on purpose. I can easily see Disney being like, if you can't even not smoke in Disney World, you have to sit here and take the parade of
Yeah,
judgment.
in Tokyo, it's a bit more dignified. Nobody in there feels embarrassed or anything like that. You stop and have a smoke.
It's not a kids amusement park. I think that like it does make you feel like you're a piece of shit smoking a cigarette in a kids amusement park. And I was smoking I was
Oh,
smoking Black and
oh,
Mild.
Middleton's finest. Ugh. Oh man.
I was just I was just in Disney World smoking Black and Milds, just blowing like this thick mini cigar smoke into the children's air.
Do you inhale Black and Milds?
I do. I'm not sure if you're supposed to or not. It isn't as extreme as actual cigar smoke.
Okay, yeah, I always like inhaled every once in a while, but like for the most part, I just kind of like puff, blow it out. But yeah. Anyways, go on. Move on to the beach towns.
Oh yeah, back to good old fucking beach town. So we're talking Jersey Shore, Ocean City. I've never been to Jersey Shore. I've been to Ocean City a ton because I live in Maryland, and Ocean City is fun. If you don't go there during a biker week, that's a big mistake me and my family always made. Is when all the biker gangs and like clubs from across the country just all convene in Ocean City, and you can't sleep the entire night. It's just revving
I
motorcycles.
remember being in Ocean City and I was staying at the Carousel Hotel. I don't know if that even exists anymore, but like the hotel on that main strip was called the Carousel, and I was very unimpressed with it. I just remember being very unimpressed with the room. Like it's a decent room, but for the most part, I didn't think the hotel rooms were all that. My mom was hyping it. She was like, "We're gonna stay at the Carousel. Like this is a famous like." Touristy hotel to stay at in Ocean City, and I walked in there and I like what at that time I was like 8 or 7, and I thought like, yeah, this is just kind of a normal red roof inn style hotel room. There's nothing other than the nice beach view that you have. Other than that, I wasn't too impressed with it.
Most of those Ocean City hotels are pretty cruddy. It's like your best shot there if you're not a rich person is just like staying at like a DoubleTree or a Holiday Inn. I had the luck when I was younger. My dad's side of the family owned a condo, like literally right on the beach. Fantastic. Unfortunately, my uncle Tom, who we talked about he survived 9/11. We talked about him in the 2001 episode. When he was going through his heroin addiction, he went through his withdrawal in this condo. I do not
Oh,
know why my family
oh,
gave him the nice condo, and apparently he chain smoked so hard that it like stained into the furniture and walls, and it just it just ruined the fucking hotel room
okay.
or the
I've
condo.
always wondered whenever you check out of a hotel, you have like about 10 minutes for them to go into your room. I'm assuming once you check out, like they immediately have somebody going into your room to check out any damages that you've done. I don't know how that's done. I don't know how hotel staff handle that situation. But like when you check out, how fast are they at finding out like, oh wow, somebody smoked in here? Like or somebody.
Oh no, this was a condo that we
Oh yeah,
owned.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was
Okay,
our own
okay.
little
My
like
bad.
yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
Oh god, no, that would have been a nightmare. I'm not sure if you could smoke that. Like this was over a month. I'm not sure unless he was staying in a hotel for a month. I'm not sure if you could stain the walls in like a week or so.
Wow. So this has been like he's been doing this for a year, 2 years in this condo.
Yeah, he was just in there like he was in there suffering.
Ugh,
I mean, just
that's
like
harrowing.
just suffering and smoking. It's what well, he did kick it. But it was just like the idea that you can smoke enough in a room that it'll just like stain the fucking walls.
Are we talking like the kind of stain where you could take like a scraper and actually like get tar off, like that visible tar that like will,
Yeah, like a
oh
syrup.
my god. Oh, that's awful.
Like
Ugh.
a tobacco caramel.
Ugh. Tobacco caramel. Okay, man. I'm
Uh,
done with even visualizing that. That sounds fucking gross.
I as much as I love Ocean City, there's one I like a lot more, and that's Virginia Beach. I'm not sure if you've
I've
ever
been there.
been to Virginia
I
Beach.
went there with my first girlfriend.
It's like Ocean City. It's a little bit more chill. Um, I've been there 3 times. The first time I went there, I did not realize it was more chill on account of bad timing. And this is one of my favorite summer vacation stories. I went there with my mom and my stepdad at the time, Anthony, and we accidentally went there at the same weekend as a Shriners convention.
I don't even know what a Shriners convention is, but continue.
The Shriners, they're kind of like one of those like Masonic rich people secret societies.
Ah,
They all
okay.
wear you've probably seen them referenced in like a TV show or a movie. They all wear little fez hats and
Ah,
like
those
all
red
white
fez hats,
suits,
yeah.
and they drive clown cars around. Like I'm not even fucking with you. So
Okay,
we
okay, continue.
So we roll up on Virginia Beach, ready for this like relaxing Virginia Beach vacation, and it's a fucking Shriners convention. They're elderly people in fez hats and like all white suits. They're all piss fucking drunk and like just unruly, and they're driving their little clown cars around. And they're like swerving them because they're all drunk.
And we're talking like we're talking people who like are seated and have their knees up, like the tall guy in the Simpsons episode 22, whatever that episode
They-
is in season 7, where it's like kind of a Pulp Fiction.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Do you find something comical about my appearance when I'm driving my automobile?
yeah, literally comically like that, and they're all elderly. These are all old people. They're in their fucking like 60s and up.
Dude,
It's just
that's
like old
ridiculous.
people, drunk old people, and we were in the hotel that they were in, and it was a nightmare, but it was so interesting. We went to like one of the worst, most stressful haunted house experiences I've ever been to, right off the
Like
boardwalk.
scary or like what's up?
It was really poorly made. It's just kind of
Okay.
like mannequins dressed as Mike Myers and stuff, but it had the most jump scares per capita of any haunted house experience I've ever dealt with in my life. I mean, it was like every time you turned around or took a step somewhere, something would like pop out, a person would pop out, animatronic would pop out or do something, and it was, I
At
mean,
some
like
point were
me
you
and
getting
my
desensitized to the jump scares?
no, we were just stressed because it was maybe like a 3 to 4 minute experience. It was very cheap, just kind of walk through here, And so it was just 3 to 4 minutes of like high fucking stress.
Yo,
I was just like, I was not handling it nearly as well.
I got a great haunted house story in Dalian, China. I was with my ex-wife Dorima, and they have this really great promenade boardwalk area where it's really chill, it's cheap, it's fun, and they had this haunted house, and we go into it and we're walking, and she's scared of horror films and stuff, and so we're walking around. It's not that bad, you got the mushy floors and stuff, and at the final stretch, there's a jail cell on my left, and there's a bunch of standing mannequins, and I'm like, I know one of them has to be human. Like, there's something gonna happen here, and as we're walking past, I hear her. I see her turn around and go, oh, and this fucker comes out of the jail cell, and he's like really tiny, and he's got this really nice ghoulish apparel on. I don't like this costume was pretty awesome. And I look at him right in the fucking eyes. I say, if you come near me right now, I'm gonna fucking punch you. And this dude immediately pulled a U-turn and went right back into the cell and didn't do shit. And she starts laughing, yo. Like, I've never seen Dorima laugh like that. And we both started cracking up and walking away, and we get out of the fucking exit, and I look to my right, and the person who's operating the ride, he looks so fucking pissed. Like, he's got his he's got his
Yeah,
head he's got his head in his fist, like while his elbows on the desk and shit, and he's just like, he can't even make eye contact with me, yo. He's so pissed about that. I totally fucked up that final jump scare. That was amazing.
you did. You did. You fucked that up. That's kind of what my mom can't do haunted houses because she has like a punch reflex with jump scares. So it's like she'd just go through, just be like punching every single fucking worker in
Yeah,
the
I
face.
don't really fuck with that, like, that intense horror shit. Like when you come near me, like, I have there's this natural instinct in me to be like, yo, if you come near me, I'm gonna fucking punch you, yo. Like,
When I
like,
was
for
in
real.
when I was in Boy Scouts, there was this high school in I think like Dundalk or Patapsco, that kind of
Mm.
area, that would do a yearly haunted house, and we would go. And I remember one year we tested like what happens if you just don't move forward, and they can't do anything. They literally they can't do anything. They just have to like just to be like, come on, move, or just
You're,
like
you're just
continue
standing
to
there
be
like
like,
a group of people just like,
"Whoa!"
wow,
Yeah, they just like
nice.
they can't do anything. So you could have just sat there. It's like it is funny, kind of ruining those haunted house moments. Any haunted house workers listening to this hate us right now, but
Yeah, I'm sure they're just like, oh, these guys are assholes. Um,
uh,
all right,
and
before go on,
another
go on.
thing to yeah, another thing to kind of like to get us into wrapping up. I have two more little subjects. You ever do like a camp, like a summer camp?
Yeah, I did one at Pinewood Elementary in 1995. If your team did well, you guys would like get a pass to go to Adventure World, which at the time Six Flags is what Six Flags America used to be Adventure World. And yeah, that was a big thing, but it was just like recreational activities like frisbee tag and that kind of shit. Like, just
Kind
nothing.
of like a sports camp.
Yeah, you weren't doing you were strictly in the confines of an elementary school, so it wasn't anything. But we got to watch movies. One of the movies we got to watch was that horrible Jungle Book remake from 1994 or 1993.
Oh, is it the live action one?
Yeah, that blew. I remember watching that and thinking, ugh, not good, not good. And back then, I didn't even know
I'd
what a
always
bad movie was.
does the actor that plays Mowgli in that, is that the guy that played Liu Kang in the '90s Mortal Kombat? I
I
feel
like
like it
in
was.
in my head, I can see the resemblance. So I wouldn't say that you're far off from that, and I would bet five on it. I would bet five
Yeah,
on
I'm
it,
just like
bro.
because I haven't seen the movie in forever, but for some reason, like the cover of the VHS tape is like in it brain, like it's like burned into my skull because I just saw it so much in the '90s. Uh, no, I've only did one sports camp experience because I'm not really an athlete, but it is pretty funny. I was supposed to be like one of the counselors, like the older kids, for a theater camp, but the theater camp counselor spots filled up, so they put me as a counselor in the sports camp. And at this
Wow,
point, yeah, I'm like a fat
somebody like
unath.
you was given the counts, like given that level of responsibility. How old were you?
I was like 12 or 13.
Wow, you were given the responsibility of being like a camp or kind of like a hall monitor style like responsibility level.
Yeah, for a sports camp, and I was non-athletic. I fitted with nobody. None of the kids respected me. Like they all were just like they're just
Ladies
like,
and
who's this
gentlemen,
fat fuck?
yeah, Jesse's not exactly an athlete or anything. You're not going to see him going and shooting a couple of free throws or three throws in a
and
basketball game.
back at this age, I was at my heaviest weight. Like I've lost weight since then. Half due to cocaine, half to just better dieting and things. But like I was pretty fat.
Wow, that's a reveal. Okay, go on.
So yeah, that's my funny summer camp story. I quit within a week. I was
Okay,
like, I can't fucking do this shit.
before we wrap up, I want to talk about like my two favorite years of summer vacation. So in 2001, I was having my first like, oh wow, I'm hanging out with friends, and like I had different friends from my eighth grade middle school because we're going into high school after this summer vacation. 2001 was like the big one, and I was hanging out with my friend Antonio and Mike, and this one dude in the neighborhood named Corey, rambunctious little fucker. Like he was just obnoxious, and but we all played video games and chilled. And when Corey was chill, he was chill, but like he started to get like really, like rambunctious whenever you would hang out like for after like 2 hours. So he starts like fucking with Mike, and Antonio and we were like, nah, you ain't gonna do that. So like we started like slapping him around, and he was like fucking slapping back, and we cornered him into the closet of my bedroom, and he was hiding behind the clothes. And I remember Mike unsheathed his belt, and Antonio had a fucking billy club and shit that my mom had in her room, and like we were fucking like kind of like slapping at him and stuff. And I remember like he comes out, and Mike slaps him with his belt buckle, and he goes back and he's like, eh! And then fucking Antonio sticks the billy club in between the clothes, kind of like Chucky does in Child's Play 2 with the air pump. And I heard Corey just go, oh, and then before you know it, Corey comes out and he fucking he pulls down all of my grandmother and mother's clothing because my closet was basically their storage unit. He pulls down the entire closet, and Jeff, he was over. Jeff. To anyone that doesn't know, Jeff was our family friend, a huge obese dude, jolly old sort, but he stood up for my mom, and
He had it out for me.
he didn't dig Corey either, and we basically had to like kick Corey out of the house. And so Corey's on the front lawn with Jeff, and we are behind Corey, and Corey's in front of us, and Jeff is facing us, and Corey is totally bullshitting this story. But Mike, Antonio, and I are behind Corey, waving off Jeff like we're being like we are giving the universal signal for he's totally fucking lying to you. And Jeff is just like, Corey, I think you gotta go. And like, I remember he got on his bike and bounced, and we all had a fucking quadruple high five with each other. Like once he got up the street with his bike, we gave each other a high five, and that was one of my favorite fucking stories from 2001. 2004, I would say I was hanging out with Travis a lot, and we like he had the smokehouse. And, like everyone knew that like this was the place you go to
green
smoke up.
summer.
Yeah, the green summer. 2004 was like, Travis's parents were totally cool about having kids in and out of the house because Travis's mom, she had the whole ideology of I'd rather you be doing it in here than doing it out there and get caught, because in Maryland in 2004 weed was heavily illegal. And one night we're hanging out, me, Julius, Travis, and a bunch of other kids, and there was this one fucker named Brian Wilson that we all really didn't have respect for, didn't like, but he passed out on the floor. And I remember Julius was like, why don't we fuck with him? And I was like, oh, come on, man, he's passed out. And Julius pulled out a quarter. And to all our international listeners, a quarter is a 25-cent piece coin. And we take a pair of tweezers and we're lighting this thing with a lighter. we're just like we have the lighter on it like this, and I was given the responsibility of tossing the coin over. Like, we had lit this thing for 2 minutes. This thing was iron hot. Like, it had color on it. And I tossed it over to Brian's general area, and it nailed him. It nailed him. And
Oh, oh.
but yo, he didn't respond. He didn't react or anything like that. And we're all kind of looking at each other like, yo, what the fuck? Like, how does he not notice this? And like, he eventually gets up about like 3 minutes later to like have a drink of water. And this is 3 minutes after I've thrown the coin. And out of nowhere, he goes, oh, and he lifts himself up, and it's under his fucking, like, it's on his back, and he's like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, I don't know. Like, we're all playing dumb. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what the fuck? And he's like, dude, that fucking, like, dude, what the fuck was this, man? Like, that shit hurt. And I was like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. And he's like, all right. And then he fucking passed out again. And after he passed out, we all started laughing and fucking high-fiving and shit. And that was one of my more funny moments in 2004. But yeah, great little
What was that?
rambunctious
What was
tale.
that? Why was that? That was a thing for us with what, like, our generation. There are a lot of like burning coins. I had a bunch of friends who it's like a rite of passage to be in their weird little friend gang group was they do that and then like put it on their like the top of their hand.
Oh no! I just tossed it over there, man. I was like, I'm just gonna give it a little toss, see what
But
happens.
anyway, to close out, I'll tell a story from one of my drug summers. I'm about let's say 16 or 17 at this point. My mom is very much like neo pagan, new agey hippie. She used to take me to this kind of camp festival every year called Starwood. When you're a kid, I went there when I was a kid, and then I went there when I was more as a teen and adult. When you're a kid, this festival is just very much like it's kind of almost like a Ren fair.
So this is
You
where
know,
like
it's
a lot
just
of Wiccan types are, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, got it.
And yeah, just all sorts of those kind of there's like Viking people and things like that. A lot of different crowds. There's like people into voodoo.
Oh
It's
man,
it's kind of cool. It's a
the
little
whole
cringy, but
the
it
whole
has its cool
Viking
moments. As
the Viking meme of this summer with that Norwegian player that really brought back some nasty memories. But go on.
So yeah, when you're a kid, it's more kind of like the Ren Fair. It's like magical fairyland, and when you're adult, it's just like drugs. So I
Drugs.
so this is a story about how I saw an explosion on acid.
Go ahead.
I was tripping with my family friend Jeff, completely different guy, very very manic hippie dude. We decided to go to this Pink Floyd rave that was happening. I'm
Actually,
gonna put
Pink
that.
Floyd.
No, it was just some dude that was like, I'm gonna be spinning like Pink Floyd remakes, like
Okay,
remixes
cool,
and
cool.
shit. And we were kind of excited about it. We were like, oh, there's gonna be a bunch of people there. It'll be like a rave. So we go. Nobody's there.
What?
The
Like
no,
nobody.
yeah, nobody has shown up. It's a really cool area. It's got like this little like fake spaceship, and there's like a light show and a laser show, but nobody's there. The DJ isn't the real DJ. It's just the guy running the event space next to a CD player
Right.
playing a CD. He's just playing an album that we could. I mean, if we went on YouTube, we could probably find it of just like Pink Floyd trance remixes that someone did. And
Sounds
he's
really
like, this
half-assed.
dude, it is. So we're like, me and Jeff are immediately like, this is bullshit, but we're trying to have fun. So we sit on a tree stump like right in front of him, while this dude is like, he is giving us the show, and it's like pathetic because he's just like sitting next to a CD player, like
Oh,
really
that's
dancing and like pointing at us and like trying to get us
oh
up. And we were just like,
oh
we're not doing it.
no.
So he comes over to us and he's like, you guys should come back later because I'm going to light this rocket on fire. It's not a real rocket. It's just like an installation piece. And we were like, all right, yeah.
Oh,
So we leave. And once we leave, the acid really kicks in. We completely forget about his bullshit. And we're like hours later, he's
nice.
lighting the thing on fire. We're at a porta potty taking a piss. And fucking like Jeff is in the porta potty and I'm outside of it just sitting there when all of a sudden I just see a fucking fireball shoot like up through
Oh
like
shit.
above the trees, just whoa.
Whoa.
And I was like, what the fuck? And then like a little shockwave came after that, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought I
Was it
was
a
tripping. I thought
firework?
I
Was
like
it an actual firework?
well, I'll get to that, but I straight up thought I was hallucinating, and Jeff like got like knocked over a little bit in the porta potty and was like, "What the fuck?" So we just were like, "All right, whatever. Maybe we had a joint hallucination." We wake up the next day. This dumb fucking shit. So he lights the rocket on fire, right? But
Yeah.
what he has next to it to get the fire really going and to give it a pop is what his excuse was. He puts a pile of lighters and a bunch of gas
Oh my
canisters next to
god.
it,
Oh my god.
and it exploded. Only he got hurt, but he immediately got kicked off. And they gave him the
Nice.
Game of Thrones shame walk. Like literally all these
Ooh.
like old crone witches. Like this is before Game of Thrones ever came out. They were like fucking my mom was a part of this. They were like shaming him out of the camp.
Were they throwing shit at him? Like just like throwing like trash at him and stuff like
No,
that?
they were just doing weird witchy chant shit. It was kind of cringe, but I was like, damn, that's
Ugh.
gotta like
Yeah,
that's
that's
gotta suck.
equally cringe. Ooh, yeah, and that would suck ass and be very very shameful. And I would definitely wake up the next day and, as I said, rethink things because that doesn't sound cool.
That
Anyways,
was a Darwin Awards moment for sure. But yeah, that's my explosion story.
I love
And
it.
I think that's a summer vacation episode.
Hell yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be signing off in a minute or two here, and we just want to say, like, thank you for all the support that we've had with Cumbersome Guys. We love doing this. This is one of our, this is what Jesse and I do every 2 weeks, and we're really just happy for you to listen. The response that we've gotten from our former horror episode was excellent, and I just want to say, with that, Jesse and I, we're signing off, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe.